Hello everybody! How nice to see you again and again. And for the first, I would like to thank you again and again for your amazing, beautiful replies towards me that made me so happy after only making 3 videos. And now, as promised, I would like to tell you my story, the story of my life. The story that was not written in history, yes, of course not, but the story which was written by the letters of my blood. Please don't cry. I'm serious. First of all, let me sit. And I would like to read one. All the comments are beautiful. The most that I really didn't know and mentioned in my language knowledge of English, some word combination that I really liked, and I would love to read it to you. This was after my fashion show video. Alison, our dearest Alison, thank you very much for such a beautiful comment. And don't get me wrong, most of the comments, 99.9 and even 100%, what I get is absolutely amazing. But this what I like more, because I'm trying to improve my English more and more. And what I like in this, after the story with the dress, Alison would know. And let me just read it to you. Lovely vlog. I love outfits you shared today. The story at the end. Never judge a book by its cover, as they say, as you don't know the story of the person until you get to know them. I like all the belts. This is now about the belts for the dress of me. And thank you very much for commenting what I asked you to comment. Looking forward to seeing the next vlog. Thank you very much, my dearest Alison. Highly appreciated. As you understand, time to time I will be reading something, and I'm well prepared for my story. Why did I prepare this book? I just did write a few events, not to be lost in the time of events. I just wanted to be more correct and more clear in what I'm saying, because that story is a little bit sad, and whenever I'm talking something about not really happy or something about sad, I always start to worry, so I can lose the moments. So therefore, I've just prepared a little bit of events here, which will help me in order not to keep you quite long in front of the cameras. But thank you very much for coming and valuing me that very high. I was born in Georgia, in Tbilisi. This is the capital city of Georgia, in 1972, 22nd of January. We were the family of 4. My mother, father, my sister, and me. I had a very nice, and still have some members of family left, and still have a beautiful family. All I was taught, the manners, how to behave, where to talk, how to pronounce, how not to pronounce, how to be kind, how to become better. And all I know is thanking to my parents and of course my sister. Up to my nearly 5 years of old, I lived in Georgia, and we then moved to Russia. This was Caucasian side, it's called Stavropol region, and that's where I grew up. And that's where I went to school first time, without knowing even a word in Russian. I didn't know anything. But the teacher, through the summertime, one teacher was coming to me. I even remember her name and father's name. This is how we call in Soviet Union those times. We used to call the name and then the father's name to be mentioned. Her name was Susanna Ilinishna. She's probably not alive until now. Otherwise, she would be around 120 years. Maybe she was quite grown-up woman then. And she taught me a few things, preparing me to go to the Russian school. So I did enjoy the lessons of her. So less or more now I was getting ready to go to the school. At school I was trying to do all my best because I loved my teacher, my first very teacher, so much. I didn't want her to be disappointed of my knowledges, in one word, in what she taught me, because she was hoping that I would be a grateful pupil. Well, slowly and very, very slowly I was going up and achieving a few things in my knowledges, in my subjects, in what I was going through. The same school my sister was going, but she was about 2 classes higher because she was 2 years older than me. Her name was Maya. I loved her to pieces. My father is an Armenian man who was born in Georgia, in Tbilisi, and he finished the school in Georgia, in Tbilisi. And my mom, she is Georgian descent, and she was not that very good pupil, but she became in love with my father because they were classmates. That's how they become married when they were 17, after when they finished the school. My father then started to going on to the career of up and up, going up to his career, and he studied a lot. And he eventually got 2 higher educations. One is legal education, another engineer and technical education. My mom was just a housewife, looking after all of us in a very, very good way. I actually don't know any better housewife in the world, because all she had to do and all her responsibilities was to look after 2 girls and growing them up, teaching what she knows. And my father was producing the living, and he was doing well, very, very well. When that time of the school finished, we moved to Ukraine because my father decided to open a new factory. All the factories that can be existing in this world, my father used to have, because he was achieving a new step. New was not enough for him. He was always trying to get something more, and knowledges and achievements of the life producing us the best life. And then we moved to Ukraine, where he opened one more factory, quite successfully. And then me and my sister entered the University of Foreign Languages, or the Teachers Training Institute of Foreign Languages, where we could become, and we did become, philologists. We used to study many languages, and having that huge examinations twice a year, where none of the money of the father or mother could help. It was very strict university then. by the first course, when I finished the first course, my grandmother decided to call my father. It was a summertime, and complaining that she was ill. My grandmother suddenly became ill. Nothing was predicting, and there was no signs of her being ill, by the way. And I thought to myself, what's going on here? So she asked my father to send me to her as a helper, as a sitter of the grandma. So Grandma Lucy just was using all her tricks towards her son, my father, for her to get me as a sitter. But she was having another plan. She saw the boy, young boy of 25 somewhere there years of old, who she was going well. She actually met him in the family of one of the family of ours accidentally, and that boy was saying to my grandmother that, well, what exactly he said? Wow, what a beautiful grandma you are. I bet you've got granddaughters, and if some is looking like you, mostly, would be great for me to be married. So my grandmother already had a plan. You understand now what? But we didn't know anything about it. So she brought me there to Georgia, Tbilisi. It was a summertime. I didn't have to go to university. I have 3 months full time to be with my grandmother. One day she decided to take me there on the sort of date, should we say, but it wasn't date. It was just settled time in the same very family where he's supposed to come, and my grandmother was saying to me, oh, put this beautiful white dress that you've got and it suits you too much. And I always was listening to my grandmother because she was like a Hitler in skirt, you know, very strict. So I decided not to disappoint my grandmother. I did what she wanted, so we went there. And it was sort of event, like a birthday party of somebody, as I remember well. And what happened, I saw this boy, he was sitting there. They all knew that all was settled down, that date, that introduction of each other, of us. But I didn't know anything, and I was just behaving like a, you know, when you have to know that there is a date for you. You're shaking all over, you feel confused, and I didn't. I really didn't. So this maybe behavior was liked in me of this boy, and on the next day, when we talked a little bit more, he invited me to one park. We had a luxury park then in Georgia. Now it's destroyed, many years past. So we went there, we were talking, he invited me for coffee in cafeteria. I had an ice cream and a coffee, and I was presented the first bouquet of flowers in my whole life of the boy, of the man. He was very gently looking after me. So this was it, and then it happened so that we did eventually get married. After a year, I had to transfer myself as a student because I was going still in the university. I didn't want to lose that 1 year that I've already spent and passed. So we made the documents, requisition, should I say, to move to Tbilisi. And it was a luxury, beautiful area, district there, somewhere where I was going into that university. It was the same very university, but just different building and different town. So I continued there. 1993, I gave a birth to my son. After 5 months, because my husband was a policeman and he was an officer, After 5 months, he had to go to the war. It was an Georgian-Abkhazian war, which happened in 1993, so he had to go. It was his first straight duty to do it, so he did. And after about months, maybe less than a month, 25 days, somewhere there, where, remember, we didn't have any telephones, any mobile phones. So all I remember, we used to have these little pagers looking like my mic. And it was giving us a signal, call me, or just a quite correct a few words where we could understand what's going on, or we could call someone, which was very important those times. And we didn't know anything apart of that Georgians lost that war. My husband and his 49 boys who were on duty on that very war were on the very first positions. I didn't know that. I didn't know many of this, but then post factum told me. So 25 days later, when my son was nearly 6 months old now, one day, because some informations we used to listen in the TV or reading in the newspapers, nothing more were available for us, if you understand me. And then we did know that somewhere in these days the bus should arrive taking the boys to their houses. My husband's police department was 50 people. Only 49 arrived back, except my husband. That very day, nothing was troubling me, or nothing could say the signs of troubles. I just was having the routine of the mother who was looking after the son, wonderful son. And all I was just believing that everything will go all right. These boys, the soldiers, will come back, all of them, to their families, to their children, to their wives, mothers and fathers, and so on. Only mine didn't come back. That very day, it was now July, I was standing in front of the window and holding my son, about 6 months old, as I told you, holding my hands, and we were looking from the 4th floor of the apartment where my grandmother lived together with me. I was looking for my husband to come down from the bus, which stopped. And I was hoping that after this boy who's come down, the next will be my husband. It didn't happen until the last boy come down and the bus left. The bus left. Suddenly I understood that these old boys took off their hats from their head. And I understood. They came to say sorry. I didn't know. Sorry about my tears. I didn't know, but of course I did understand in a maybe less than a minute of time. I don't remember anything. I just collapsed. Until the first boy arrived to the house, to the apartment, I just collapsed with my son in my hands. Of course, the ambulance and all this came. I was taken to the intensive therapy, where I spent 40 days. I didn't know where I am. I didn't know what I am. I didn't know. I didn't feel anything. I was just always cold. Because as you know, everything should be cold in those rooms. And I was very, very chilly. But all my brain could remember some event that I was unhappy, something happened. This is what a huge mess was going on in my head. All I was remembering is that. And all I was saying is the first letter of my son, because the brain always remembers what happened, something bad happened, and further down it's a shock that's blocking your brain down, and that's it. Further down, say whatever you say. People mention different things about going that world and then coming back, and they all having a different feelings, what they pass through there. After 40 days, something above me wanted me to come back. But during, as I was just in dungeon room, this was a feeling that I want to come up. I was in the middle of death and life. And this was very hurtful. And then I could even see the white, icy house where I saw my husband kicking me out from that world, kicking me out, and telling me, no, our son needs you, you should go back. And only for him, I can swear you, only for him. I arrived. That very moment, nobody was in the room, as I was told. I didn't know even that, but the nurses and doctors and everybody, remember, they were giving me only 10% percent of possibility of to be alive. So they did call whoever they could call. Suddenly I opened my eyes and I couldn't talk properly. Of course I couldn't, but you know what I wanted most? I wanted sweets. Sweets and something like drink, whatever it was. I don't think it was coffee, even though I should cheers to it. It was something like maybe liquid, because you remember that there you have nothing. They just feeding you with what they think is good for you, and that's it, in the intensive therapy room. So within a week, I was taken to the normal room of the hospital, and in another room, in another 1 week, I was just written off. I lost 15 kilos. I was a skin and a bone, very hardly could move, hardly could talk. The brain was shocked, and the events that was happening around me didn't make me happy. All I could understand that this is my son. I've lost so much time because of this, what happened, and now I have to be with him. And I start, this little life I could observe gave me the soul and the power and the motivation. He gave me the power, in one word, to go on, and I did. I did, and since then, I said to myself, whatever will happen, I'll never drop anybody down. Because, when you get used to something like that, you getting like a stone. You don't feel the pain anymore. Or you're getting used. Of course you feel pain, but you don't feel that much, anything that much. But since then, I promised to myself I'll be strong. One of my favorite songs is by Cher, Strong Enough. And I was trying to go on and go on and go on and go on. And life is sometimes very cruel to us, but it's given to us the examinations that we have to pass in an excellent mark. I did take an academy leave from the university, then I did finish it quite well. I mean, graduated with an excellent marks. My son was growing up, and when he was about 3, he was asking me that he's going to kindergarten, and most of the fathers coming to pick them up. Where is my father? Of course, he was a little bit young to explain him what happened. I did it year after, in a very gentle way. So he did know, but 4 years old boy, what he can understand. Especially, they're not, nowadays the children are more accelerating, but those times, 30 years ago, was not that easy to explain. So I met my daughter's father. I'll be shortened these events because I understand that it's not easy to talk to me, but I'm trying to understand, still trying to understand why people think that somebody's life is that easy, because they see this picture today, but they have never seen the pictures of the life yesterday of that very person. Why they're so easy to insult, why they don't become ashamed to open their dirty mouths in order to blame someone without knowing what's going on with that person or what happened. Sorry for that. So my son was growing quite a good boy until the school period of time. I met Ella's father, and I thought it's going to be the huge shoulder of the man to my son. So because I could see that they going quite well together, I did get married, and Ella was born in 1999, 11th of December. Now she's 24, quite good girl. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of anyone I have next to me. And our marriage just went to end. I worked many hours. In one word, I understood that the time that I've lost then, that very heavy period of time, that very time, the more power came to me, and soul and motivation to go on. So I was putting on my shoulders everything slowly and surely, trying to provide. I was provider. I'm not a person who can say that he was a bad man. Obviously, something that I was looking for, I was missing. Now, this is another story, and I'm not going to blame anyone. This is not me. It's just the fact of it that it didn't happen, so I decided to divorce. It's my own opinion, and I just didn't want to continue my life that very way. But the worst thing, 2013, my sister died. She was nearly 2 years older than me. 2013, 5th of May, we had an Easter day. The girl that never had a headache in her life, she didn't know what is temperature looking like. She went to sleep and she didn't wake up. 5th of May, 2013. That was another hit to my forehead. She never visited Cyprus. She never been here. Because she was so busy working. She lived in Kiev, and she's got one daughter. I call her my daughter as well. My sister's daughter is my niece Ilona. She lives in Kiev, very clever girl, a sort of wonder kid, and she's my daughter, and trying to understand now. She was here 3 years ago. Time flies. I brought her here 3 years ago. She met Mr. Paul. They loved conversation with each other. They were going quite well. Very highly educated girl. She knows a few languages, as all of my children do. I went to the funeral of my sister. Going back to my husband's unhappiness, first husband's, what happened? 2013, the remains of the body were founded because he was not brought to us. All the DNA and everything. 17 was founded, and another 24 boys were brought in a zinc coffin, where my son went to that funeral process event, where the Ilya, the second patriarch of all Georgia, was there as well. It was huge event. All Georgian, first channel of Georgia was there, and it's somewhere in the history, in the archives, should I say. 2017. 2013 my sister died, and then 2022, just on the New Year's Eve, my father's died. And I remember well when me and Mr. Paul were getting ready for this. Congratulate to all of you, happy New Year's Eve and blah blah. It didn't happen because what happened with my father, and I couldn't breathe, never mind to talk. I was not really able, I was unable to talk, never mind. I asked Mr. Paul, because we always were holding the baby in the hands, Marika and me channel. He did go, understood me, and he did go and made this video, this wishing you all, our dearest family members, a happy new year. 2023 was coming, and I honestly believe that if you suffered, you cannot suffer for whole life. It's like an examination of something above. You have to just spend the examination you have to spend it. You have to pass that examination in the best way. The mark of yours should be excellent, 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 nothing else. And only then Prince Welski arrived. As like somebody there felt sorry about me and thought how much this woman can stand on her shoulders. Let her now to become a little bit relaxed. She now can feel herself a woman, even though I'm not 25. I wish it was then, because when you're young, you want all this happiness, and you want the happiness and quiet life in every age. Don't get me wrong, of course, in every age. But all I'm saying is, keep strong, never give up, never put off till tomorrow what you can do today, and we will be all right. So my Prince Welski arrived. I maybe jumped from task to task, and all I prepared in my book didn't even went in it, because I thought maybe it will be boring for you. I just you know, a few remarks for myself was written here in order not to keep you that long and to be more interesting. Forgive my maybe a little bit of went off the task, coming and going to the same task, but this is what life can present us. This is how life can how to I explain this can reward you maybe then after so many unhappy days and rainy days of yours. Believe me, after every zebra, you see, that's why I like zebra. It's got white and black lines. So let's call black rainy days and white shiny days according to the colors. And I would like to say to you that, what can I say? This is a story of my life. I wish it never happened to me. And when I was watching TV and saying, let's say I could observe many events until it's not touching you, you don't understand that it may happen with you as well. So I wish nothing bad happen with you. Never feel unhappy days, never feel anything wrong, never blame yourself, never blame anybody, and don't forget that sometimes that best days of yours will be coming and knocking to your door as well. So as we say, on your street will be a great party one day as well. So I would like to say to you as well that really happy to see you, and now I would be saying to you how much I'm loving you and greeting you from the bottom of my heart, thanking you again and again for staying with me, and asking you one more thing. Don't forget to put that like and subscribe. Don't forget to write your beautiful comments, as I'm reading them more and more, and I wish I had more of them. If I missed any comments, please don't get me wrong. This is because sometimes something is missing out of my sight, maybe, but if I notice that I didn't answer or reply the comment of yours, I will always do, late or early. Don't forget that we're loving you to bits, kissing you and hugging you from the bottom of the heart. And thank you very much for the coffees that these luxury people bought to me. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Always I would like to stand and tell you that this lovely dress, I like it all very much. And I hope that you'll write it down if you like it or not. Loving you. Many kisses.